Yes, yes.
Okay. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara. In our last session, we had covered up to the 30th shloka. In 30th shloka, Adi Shankaracharya ji says, Nishidya Nikhila Upadhin Neti Neti iti Vakyatah Vidyad Aikya Mahavakyaihi Jivatma Paramatmanah. So in this shloka, Adi Shankaracharya tells us to negate all the upadhis, the conditionings. So Nishidya Nikhila Upadhin, all the upadhis, Neti Neti iti Vakyatah, not this, not this. Whatever we have considered ourselves to be, it cannot be that. When an investigation begins, suppose a question is asked to someone, who are you? Now, the first thing that person will tell is his name. But he was not asked his name. The question was, who are you? If the questioner wanted to know the name, he would have asked, what is your name? So the question is, who are you? And the person gives him the name instead of telling who he is. Similarly, now the question still remains, who are you? And then now the person is confused. I have already given him the name and yet he is asking, who are you? And then again, what happens is that he tells about his profession. I am an accountant, I am an engineer, I am a doctor, I am a businessman, and so on. So the questioner tells him that, look here, I didn't ask you your profession. Then the question would have been, what is your profession? I have asked you, who are you? First, you gave me the name which I didn't ask. Now you are giving your profession which also I didn't ask. So who are you? The question stands. So what happens is that we are conditioned in such a way that when such a question is put to us, who are you? We tend to answer in terms of conditionings. Conditionings of name, conditionings of profession, conditioning of religion or caste or nationality and so on. We always answer in terms of conditioning. These are external conditionings. So, Nishidya Nikala Upadhin, Neti Neti Iti Vakyata, not this, not this. Of course, these are the external conditioning that we have put on ourselves. Conditioning of the name, profession, education, qualification, then social status, and so on. But what about the other conditioning? The conditioning of the body, the sense organs, the pranas, the mind, and the intellect, they are at a subtler level. So, Nishidya Nikhila Upadhin Neti Neti Iti Vakyatah Vidyat Aikyam. Through the Mahavakyas, the 4 Mahavakyas we have seen last time, the 4 Upanishads have got Prajnanam Brahma, then Tattvamasi, Ayam Atma Brahma, and Aham Brahmasmi. They are the 4 Mahavakyas, which help us, contemplation on these Mahavakyas help us to realize the self. So, it also Vidyat Aikya Mahavakya Jivatma Paramatmata. Then we come to the conclusion that Jivatma, there is no difference between Jivatma and Paramatma. They are one. This is what we have seen. Now broadly it was seen Neti Neti Nikhila Upadhin. Now from in the 31st shloka, what Adi Shankaracharya says here is that Avidyakam Shariradi Drishyam Budbudavat Ksharam Etad Vilakshanam Vidyat Aham Brahma iti Nirmalam. Avidyakam, that is up to the causal body, that is up to the ignorance level, up to the causal body, Shariradi, all the bodies, up to the causal body, Drishyam, they are the perceived objects, Drishyam, Budbudavat Ksharam. They are like the bubbles which is subject to destruction, perishable. Like now the monsoon time is in the rains, the water accumulates and you can see the bubbles there. What is the lifespan of that bubble? Just within a moment, it gets destroyed. So, Budbudavat Ksharam, perishable. Etad Vilakshanam Vidyat. So, up to the causal body, we have already seen in the previous shlokas, you people have already seen that how from the Panchamahabhuta, the Panchakoshas are formed, and broadly the Panchakoshas are put into three categories: the gross physical body, the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body. The gross body comprises of the physical body, subtle body comprises of the prana, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, the mind, and vijnanamaya kosha, the intellect. So these three together forms the subtle body, and the last is the causal body, which is ignorance of the self. So up to the causal body, so all these bodies up to the causal body, the gross, subtle, and the causal body, they are all perceived object. Budbudavat Ksharam, perishable. Etad Vilakshanam Vidyat. Know that what I, Aham, Brahma iti Nirmalam, I am other than these bodies, that supreme reality, pure self, Nirmalam, pure self, other than these. Now, when there is a close proximity of the consciousness and the inert matter, an entity arises called the ego. Ego, when it identifies with the gross physical body, he is the waker and he is the experiencer of the waking world and the waking experiences. Then the same ego, when it identifies with the subtle body, then he is the experiencer of the dream world. So all the experiences of the dream, he is the dreamer and the experiencer of the dream world. Then when he identifies with the causal body, then he is the deep sleeper and the experiencer of the deep sleep. So similarly, this identification, along with this identification, the different experiences come. Now, here Adi Shankaracharya says that Aham Brahma iti Nirmalam, Etad Vilakshanam Vidyat. So, other than all these, I am that Brahma, supreme reality and pure. And they are all Drushya. Drushya means that which is seen. So, from the next slok onwards, we will be doing the Viveka, Panchakosha Viveka, or rather the Viveka of why we are not the body or the sense organs or the mind or the pranas or the intellect and so on. We'll be doing that. We'll take the systematic reasoning of why we cannot be any of these. So, having said that, whatever is seen cannot be the seer. Seer is definitely other than that which is seen. So these objects, these all three bodies are seen object for the consciousness. Therefore, this cannot be I. Now, having said that, now we move on to the 32nd shloka. Now, 32nd shloka onwards, Adi Shankaracharya gives the systematic analysis about how we cannot be the body, the mind, and the senses, and the pranas, and so on. In the 32nd shloka, he says, Deha anyatvat name janma jara karshya laya adayah shabdadi vishayahi sangaha nirindriyataya nacha. Now here, Adi Shankaracharya says, Deha anyatvat na me. I am other than the body. And when I say I am other than the body, then what is not applicable to me? If I am not the body, what is not applicable to me is that Janma, birth is not applicable to me. Because body is born in time. So if I am not the body, that birth is not applicable to me, that means I am not born. Dehanyat Deha anyatvat name janma jara. Jara is the old age. Then Karshya is the senility. And then Laya is the death. Laya Adiyah, Laya, etc., death, etc. Shabdadi Vishayahi Sangaha. Shabdadi Vishaya Sangha, that is 5 sense objects for the 5 sense organs, and this and its association with that of the sense organs. So the eyes perceive the colors and forms, the ears hear the sound, Shabdadi, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, they are the 5 objects for the 5 sense organs. So Shabda, the sound for the ears, then the colors and forms for the eyes, then the smell for the nose, and the taste for the tongue, and the sense of touch for the skin. So these are the 5 senses. So Shabda Adi Vishayahi, so all the objects, the mind can go only into the 5 types of objects. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, Sangaha. Nirindriyataya Nacha. So I am not even the sense organs, not the body, but not even the sense organs. So now, at this particular shloka, we need to have a proper analysis. Now here, Adi Shankaracharya says that I am not the body. Now we have to analyze thoroughly why I cannot be this body. Let us start the analysis. So first thing is that when we are looking at, we have already negated whatever we are not. All the external conditionings, definitely we are not. If a name is there, I am definitely not the name. If the parents have given a particular name, if you don't like it, we can always put it in the gazette, publish in the gazette and change the name. So I cannot be the name, I can change it anytime. The profession or the educational qualification, I got it afterwards. That cannot be I. Without that qualification or without that profession, it doesn't change who I am. Similarly, our caste or religion or nationality doesn't change me. I can change my nationality also. I can change my religion also, and so on. These are all external conditionings. Or I can qualify into a particular profession and do something else also. They are all external conditionings. So these are not I. Now we are coming to the body. We have to discuss this. And we have to have proper scientific reasoning why I can never be this body. So what is the first reason? We have seen a couple of reasonings we have seen in our last talk. So in the last satsang, we have seen that. One is that whatever is mine cannot be I. We have seen in our last session that suppose the car is mine, I cannot be the car. House is mine, I am not the house. So whatever belongs to me, I am not that. Computer is mine, my computer, but I am not the computer. My house, but I am not the house. My cell phone, but I am not the cell phone. So whatever belongs to me cannot be I. This is very clear. There is no doubt about this. Now, similarly, we now come to this. When we are addressing this, now listen to this carefully. My leg is paining. My stomach is upset. My eyesight is failing. My mind is disturbed. My intellect is not working. So, my leg, my stomach, my eyes, my eyesight, my mind, my intellect, I address these as mine. What is the rule now? Whatever is mine cannot be I. My house, my car, my computer, my cell phone, and so on. So I address these as mine, but they are not I. Similarly, when I come to this, my leg, my stomach, my eyesight, my mind, my intellect, so I address these as mine. So the rule is whatever is mine cannot be I, number one. Now, this is the grossest of reasoning I am giving why I cannot be the body or the sense organs or the mind or the intellect or the pranas. Now, similarly, we go to the second reason. Now, listen to this very carefully. Now, we look at the body. If any part is not there, it doesn't affect my existence. Somebody may not have a leg, but that person's existence continues. Somebody may not have a hand or arm, but that person continues to exist. Somebody may not have eyes, but that person exists. Somebody may not have the capacity to hear, the ears, but the person continues to exist. Now this is at the external level. Now we come to something internal. If stomach, spleen, gallbladder, 1 kidney, 1 lung, 80% of the intestine, 75% of the liver, half the brain, and virtually entire organs of the pelvic or the groin region is removed. Of course, it will not at all be healthy nor comfortable, but the body will still survive. So which of these parts am I? Then, if the blood gets toxic, then the blood has to be removed and someone else's blood has to put in that. So am I the blood then? If none of these organs, when they are removed, they are not there. Now suppose both the kidneys fail, somebody else's kidney is put in the body, and that kidney from somebody else's body is put here and it continues to survive. There is no problem with that. Similarly, somebody's heart is weak or not working properly, and immediately some accident victim's heart is available. That heart is put in that, and the accident victim has died and his body has already been cremated, but this fellow's heart is functioning in another person. White blood corpuscles removed from our body can, if taken care of, it can grow in the lab conditions well after the body from which it was taken is cremated. Similarly, organs, their death is at different times. At different times, the organs die. Therefore, it can be transplanted into another, the patient also who requires that organ after this person has died. The organs die at different times. When clinically the body is dead, that doesn't mean that all the organs have died same time, because all organs have a different time of death. Therefore, immediately after that, certain organs are removed immediately so that it is available for transplanting into another body. And the time of death is also determined upon the states of different organ, and then the state of food in the digestive tract. So according to that, then the time of death is determined of the person. So now, which part of this body am I? Then apart from that, every moment, 25 million cells are produced in our body, and that many amount of cells die in our body every moment. Every minute, 50,000 dead skin cells falls off our body. Every minute, 50,000 dead skin cells falls off our body, and 70% of the house dust is nothing but the human dead skin cells. So this game of birth and death is going on in our body. Every 27 days, the new skin, our body grows new skin cells, regrows new skin cells every 27 days. Every 7 years, the entire body changes, including the bones, except the nervous system. The neurons in the nervous system do not change. Otherwise, the whole body changes. That means whatever cells you were born with, they are not there today, excluding the neurons. None of them are there today, but we continue to exist. Not one cell from this, all the bones have, every 7 years, they keep on changing. So none of them are there today, and yet we continue to exist. That is the funny part of it. So then, which particular part of this body am I then? So now that was the second reasoning. First reasoning was whatever is mine cannot be I. Now second reasoning, any part of this body is removed, it doesn't affect our existence. Which particular part am I? Which particular organ am I? We are thoroughly investigating into this. Then we go further now. The third reasoning. This body consists of trillions and trillions of germ cells. And without these germ cells, we cannot survive. All these germ cells, they are actually important for our health. They are essential for health. That is what Professor Ruth Lee says. She is the director of the Department of Microbiome in the Max Planck Institute, Germany. So the body isn't just you, it is the microbe. Similarly, Professor Rob Knight of University of California, San Diego, he says that human body is more microbe than human. According to Dr. B.M. Hegde, for each cell, there are 10 times germ cells in the body. From mouth to anus, there are 10 raised to the power of 13 germ cells. For 120 trillion cells, there are 360 trillion germ cells. These microbes are there. Our mouth contains 3 billion germ cells. Each of our feet contains 1 trillion germ cells. Our entire digestive system has got 100 trillion germ cells. Without these, the digestion cannot take place. If some of these germ cells die, then we'll have diseases. So these are trillions of germ cells are there. There are 10,000 different types of microorganisms living in and on the surface of our body, every nook and cranny of our body. Bacteria, viruses, archaea, fungus, and so on. So there are trillions and trillions of them. Most of them are beneficial for our health. In fact, there are more microorganisms living on the surface of our skin than there are human beings on this planet. So now all these microorganisms, most of them, they consider this body as their home. They consider this body not only their home, but their world, because they are born there, they live there, they die there. They have never known any other world. With so many trillions and trillions of germs, claiming this to be their abode, their home, not only that their home, but their world, we can hardly call it our own, leave alone claiming it as I. So 3 reasons we have got now why I cannot be the body. We move on to the 4th reason. What is the 4th reason? This body is called as Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha means food sheath, completely made up of food. The seeds in the parents were produced from the food they ate. The fetus in the mother's womb is sustained on the food which the mother eats. When the baby is born, the baby is sustained on the milk produced in the mother from the food she ate. After the baby is weaned away from the mother's milk, that body is sustained on the food that baby eats. And then this body goes on to become, it is a food for other creatures, other animals. And then after this body dies, it becomes food for other millions and trillions of germs. So this body is food through and through. 100% is made up of food. Therefore, it is called as Annamaya Kosha or food sheath. Now, this body is food. Now, suppose we have Chappan Bhog in front of us. We do not have I notion in that food. This body is 100% made of the food, that food only, that very food that we have consumed. But when we look at the food, we don't have an I notion in that food. Why should we have the I notion in this food? This is also food alone, 100% food. Ask a tiger or a lion, it will look at this body as a food only. It will start doing the Brahmarpanam. So, this is 100% made out of food. When we cannot have I notion in the food, how can we have I notion in this body? So, now we have got 4 reasons why I cannot be the body. Let us move on to the 5th reason. The 5th reason is the Jada Chetan Bheda. The Jada Chetan Bheda is the difference between the inert, insentient or non-living and the sentient or living. So this body is inert, insentient and non-living. But I am sentient, I am conscious. This body has to be enlivened by consciousness. The body, the sense organs, the pranas, the mind and the intellect, they are inert instruments. They are made up of matter, gross and subtle matter they are made up of. They have to be enlivened by consciousness. Electrical gadgets cannot function without electricity. So if they are disconnected from the electricity, it will not function. Similarly, if this hand is chopped off, if it is cut off, then what happens is that this hand will not function because it is disconnected from that consciousness which was pervading through that. Now it will only express at the level of existence, that's all, but not at the level of knowledge or bliss. So similarly, it is like that. So there is a Jada Chetan Bheda, insentient, sentient difference is there. Living and non-living difference is there. Matter is inert, insentient, whereas consciousness is that which enlivens this. If there are minute iron filings on a sheet of paper, if you hold the magnet below that paper and move around, so this iron filings will appear moving around, but it doesn't have its own energy to move around. As soon as the magnet is removed, it will remain where it is. So similarly, this body is sustained, it appears sentient only because of consciousness, not otherwise. It is enliving in it. Otherwise, this is made up of matter only. Matter is insentient and non-living, whether it is matter or energy. So Jada Chaitan Bheda is there. I am pure consciousness, and therefore I cannot be this body which is made up of matter and insentient. So we have got now 5 reasons why I cannot be the body. We move on to the next one. What is the 6th reason? 6th reason is that Drashta Drushya Bheda, seer seen difference. Whatever is seen cannot be the seer. Whatever is Drushya, Yad Drushyam Tad Jadam. Whatever is seen is inert, insentient. So with the eyes, I can see you, I can see other human beings and so on. But what we are seeing is only inert body we are seeing. We cannot see with the eyes, we cannot see the consciousness that is enlivening the body. As we can see a fan moving or an AC working. They are electrical gadgets, but we cannot see the electricity on which it is functioning. So what we are seeing is that inert fan we are seeing, but not the electricity which is powering the fan. We are seeing the inert body which is functioning, but we cannot see the consciousness which is powering the body. So Drashta Drushya Bheda, the Drashta Drushya Bheda is there. That is, whatever is seen cannot be the seer. Seer is definitely different from that which is seen. Drashta Drushya Bheda. And Yad Drishyam Tad Jadam. And whatever is seen is all inert. When we see other human being, what we see is the inert body. But the consciousness is expressing to that body. That is what it is. So now we have got 6 reasons why I cannot be the body. Now we move on to the 7th one. What is the 7th reason why I cannot be the body? The 7th reason is that there is a Swagata Bheda. Swagata Bheda within the body. Swagata Bheda means internal differences. You see, liver is not kidney, kidney is not heart, heart is not gallbladder, and so on. Different organs are there. There is a Swagata Bheda is there. When anything has got different parts, those different parts are subject to modification, subject to change, subject to modification. So similarly, this body has got different parts and they are subject to modification. So they are different parts. But even though they are different parts, I, the consciousness, pervade through each and every part of that body. I pervade through each and every cell of this body. When a pin pricks the small toe of my left foot, I know it. But maybe my kidney may not know, my heart may not know, my bladder may not know, the spleen may not know, my stomach may not know. But I know it because the consciousness is pervading through each and every cell of this body. So they will know it. But what happens is that the body has got several parts and I am the one indivisible consciousness, homogeneous consciousness pervading through each and every cell of this body. So therefore, I cannot be this body. Body has got different parts. Swagata Bheda is there. Now, this we further take it. Now we have got 7 reasons why I cannot be the body. Now we move on to the further one. The 8th reason why I cannot be the body. The 8th reason is because there is Swagata Bheda, there are differences in the internal parts of the body. And therefore, if there are different parts of the body, it is subject to modification. It is vikari. It is subject to modification, subject to change. So these body parts will keep on changing. But I, the consciousness which pervades through these body parts, I don't change. And therefore, also I know the change also. So suppose my eyesight is failing, I know. So the eye has modified. It has changed. So I know that the eyesight has changed now. So I know these changes, but I don't change. So this is subject to modification. So the eighth reason is that if it has got different body parts, it is subject to modification. It will keep on changing. Therefore, I cannot be this body. I cannot be any part of this body. So it keeps on changing. Now, similarly, now we move on to another reason why I cannot be the body. So we have got now 8 reasons why I cannot be the body. Now we go on to the 9th reason. The body that is it keeps on modifying, and death is also a part of modification. Death and decay is also part of modification. Now there are well documented, scientifically studied cases of those born with memories of their past life. So those children at the age of 4 or 5, they tell their parents in this life that they are so and so from their past life, and their family is living in so and so village. He has his wife and his children and grandchildren there, and he keeps on pestering his parents in this life to take him to that village. So then they take him to that village, and then he shows that that is my house, and that old lady sitting outside the house is my wife, and these are my children, and these playing, they're the children they are playing, they are my grandchildren, and so on. And he tells that on the first floor in that corner is my room, and he tells what are the things in that room, and his children tell that what this boy is telling is right, that is our grandfather, their father's room, and those things are there in that room. Now, these are scientifically studied cases. We have got many authors, many scientists studying this thing. There are institutes, organizations scientifically studying these cases of principle of reincarnation, or principle of birth. And in my article on immortality and the phenomena of birth, death, transmigration, and rebirth, I have given an elaborate details about different scientists who have done the studies, and the books like Dr. Brian Witt's book, Many Masters, Many Lives, One Soul, Many Bodies, and so on. There are different types of books. An in-depth study, scientific study has been done. And there are cases like Dr. R.L. Stevenson. He has written a book. He has studied more than 3,000 cases of those who had memories of their past life, out of which he chose 700 cases where they can be factually confirmed. And out of that, 20 cases he has taken and put in a book. And every minute detail was taken into consideration. Now, this boy who had the memory of his past life and knows everything, if this boy is asked, you had a body as this old lady's husband, and that body died. Now you have a child's body. Are you the body? He will vehemently say, definitely I am not the body, because the bodies are different, but I am the same person. I am the same one who was there earlier in that old body also which died, and now in this body also I am the same one. So this also proves that I cannot be the body. Then we go further. Now we are coming to the 10th reason why I cannot be the body. The 10th reason is that this body, this gross physical body, is available for our experience only in the waking plane of consciousness. This gross physical body is not available to us in the dream state or the deep sleep state of consciousness. For example, if we had a belly full of food and then we have gone to sleep. Now, having slept, we dream, and then we dream that we are starving, and then we are desperately looking for some food. Now, in the waking plane of consciousness, we had a belly full of food and we have gone to sleep. And in the dream, we dream that we are starving. That means this physical body, which is available for our experience in the waking plane of consciousness, is not available for our experience in the dream state. Had it been available, we would not be starving there. So in the dream state, we identify with one of the characters of the dream, and then whatever happens to that character, it is as if happening to us. So therefore, now this body is available only in the waking plane, but not in the dream state. And then further, in the deep sleep state also, it is not available. So that which is available in the one state of consciousness, only in the waking plane, but it is not available for my experience in the dream state or the deep sleep state. That cannot be I, because I am present in all the three states of consciousness. The waking, the dream, as well as the deep sleep state of consciousness. All three states of consciousness I am present. But the physical body is available for my experience only in the waking plane of consciousness, not in the dream state, not in the waking plane of the deep sleep state of consciousness. So I cannot be this body. Now, so we have got 10 reasons why I cannot be the body. They cannot be refuted. Now we go further up. We take up the 11th reason why I cannot be the body. What is the 11th reason? Now, since my childhood, I have been observing my body. I know how my body was as a child, as a teenager, then as a youngster, as a middle ager, as an old age, and so on. So different phases. I've seen the changes taking place in the body, in the sense organs. Eyesight is now good or not good. Hearing capacity is good or not good, and so on. Then the pranas, maybe that now you take a longer time to walk, or if you walk at the same speed, you start gasping. The pranas have changed. The quality, the type of feelings, sentiments, and emotions as a child that we were entertaining in our mind, that has also changed. As a child, it was a different thing. Then as a teenager, the different feelings were there, different emotions were there. As a youngster, different emotions were there. As a middle age and in old age, it goes on changing. And I know these changes. Similarly, my intellect also, different thoughts. In my childhood, different thoughts were there. As a teenager, different thoughts. And the thoughts kept on changing, the quality of thoughts, the type of thought that I was entertaining in my mind. As a child, as a teenager, as a youth, in an old age, it kept on changing. And I am the knower of all those changes. I am the knower of the changes of my thoughts, knower of the changes of my emotions, feelings in my mind throughout that period, knower of the state of my sense organs. And externally also my body has changed. The hair was black, now it is white, and so on, it goes on. Some people may have teeth, some people may not have teeth. So we are witness to that. Now, to know the change, any change, we have to be outside the field of change. Listen to this very carefully. To know any change, we have to be outside the field of change. If we are part of the change, we will not know the change. We have to be outside the field of change. I will give an example which will clarify this. Suppose there are 3 trains traveling on parallel tracks, moving in the same direction at the same speed, and we are sitting in the middle train. And then we observe the other 2 trains. We will feel as if the two trains are not moving, because we are also part of the change. All the 3 trains are moving. They are moving on the same the parallel tracks, but at the same speed in the same direction. Now what has happened is that we are sitting in the middle train, and when we observe the other 2 trains, we feel as if they are not moving, because we are also part of the change. Now a third person, he is standing on the bridge, and then from the bridge he can see that all the 3 trains are moving. They are moving in the same direction at the same speed. Now he is standing on the bridge. He is not part of the change. He is outside the 3 trains. So he'll know exactly all these 3 trains have moving, and they are moving in the same direction at the same speed. Now the very fact that I have known the changes taking place in the body, in the sense organs, in the mind, in the intellect, and all that thing, if I have known that, I have to be an entity other than the body, mind, and intellect. If I am the body, then a constantly changing body cannot comprehend the constantly changing mind and the intellect. The changes taking place in the mind and the intellect. Similarly, if I consider myself to be the mind, then a constantly changing mind cannot comprehend the constantly changing body and the intellect. And if I consider myself the intellect, then a constantly changing intellect cannot comprehend the constantly changing mind and the body. So the very fact that I have known the changes taking place in my intellect, my mind, my sense organs, my pranas, my body, that means I have to be an entity other than the body, outside the field of change, to know the change. So the very fact that I know this, that means I cannot be this body. So I have to be other than this body. Now, let us continue. Let us continue further. I will be giving you 14 reasons and irrefutable reasons, and these reasons you have to remember, and at least twice a day you have to revise this, morning and evening, before going to bed and morning when you wake up, that why I can never be this body, sense organs, pranas, mind or intellect. Why? So now we have seen 11 reasons. We'll come to the 12th reason now. Now the 12th reason is that all of us in our school level physics, we have studied a law. What is that law? Law of conservation of matter and energy. This is in 8th standard or 9th standard level physics, I suppose. During our time it was that. Now it must have come down even below that. Anyway, so this law of conservation of matter and energy says that matter can neither be created nor destroyed. It is only subject to transformation. So matter can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form to another. So if a piece of paper is there, if this book is there, this book can be burnt. Now when you burn this book, what happens is that what remains is that it continues to exist in the form of the ashes, in the form of smoke, in the form of heat energy. So it exists and continues. So it is not completely destroyed. It has been transformed from one form to another form. Energy also can be transformed from one form to another form. Solar energy transformed into electrical energy. Mechanical energy transformed into electrical energy. Electrical energy transformed into heat energy, and so on. So this transformation of heat and energy and matter keeps on taking place. Now, both matter and energy, they are inert, insentient, non-living. There has to be a conscious knower to know the existence of matter and energy and their existence and their transformation. So there has to be a conscious knower to know the existence of matter and energy and their transformation. Understand that very clearly. So there has to be a conscious knower. Now, what happens is that if this conscious knower is there, then this conscious knower also should not be subject to transformation. Because if this conscious knower is subject to transformation, it will not know the transformation taking place in matter and energy. So this conscious knower is there. Then this law of conservation should be all the more applicable to this conscious knower also. If it is applicable to insentient matter and energy, then it should be all the more applicable to this conscious knower also. This conscious knower also cannot be created, nor destroyed, nor subject to transformation. Therefore, there is no birth or no death for me. I as the pure self, there is no birth and no death for me. And there is no transformation for me. I am not matter nor energy. I illumine the existence of matter and energy. I am neither of these. And I am not subject to birth or death, no destruction. There was no time when I didn't exist. There will be no time when I cease to exist as pure consciousness. When we identify in our ignorance with the body, mind, intellect equipment, then we say that, okay, this body was created in some time, it will be destroyed in some time, and so on. But as a pure self, there is no birth or death for us. Now we have seen 12 reasons why I can't be the body. Now we go on to the 13th reason why I can't be the body. The knower-known difference. Known is always different from the knower. Knower cannot be known. Known is always different from the knower. So knower cannot be known. So whatever is known cannot be the knower. So we know all the things and beings of this objective world. I cannot be that which is known. So that is how it is. I cannot be that which is known. Now I'll give an example. A knower is other than the known, and it cannot be known. It is a knower cannot be known. For example, in the light of a torch, what happens is that we can see all the things in the dark room. But can we see the battery cells on which the torch is functioning? Can we see the battery cells in the light of that torch? No, we cannot see. So this knower cannot be a known object, and therefore knower, the self, cannot be known by the intellect. Intellect is powered by that consciousness, and therefore intellect cannot know that self. In deep meditation, we have to transcend the intellect itself to know the self. Intellect has got its own limitations. With intellect, we can very well know what we are not. With intellect, we cannot know what we are. By discrimination, we can negate one by one what we are not. Why we cannot be the body, the sense organs, the respiration, the pranas, the mind and the intellect, that we can very well do the analysis to the intellect. What remains is what I am. That cannot be known by the intellect. For that, we need to transcend the intellect itself. So this knower-known difference is there. Now we come to so we have covered up now 13 reasons why I cannot be the body. Now we go up to the 14th reason why I cannot be the body. Now this is a very important reason and very subtle reason also. What is that? Any object, anything that has got the illuminator and the substratum are the same. They cannot be the real. They are then insentient. Wherever illusion, rather we can call it, not even insentient, we should call it an illusion. Where the substratum and the illuminator, if both are the same, then that entity is an illusion. That entity which has got its substratum and the illuminator both as same, then that entity is an illusion. I'll explain how it is. For example, dream world. Dream world is projected by our mind, where it is projected on the substratum of consciousness. And who is the illuminator of the dream world? Suppose it is a moonless night, Amavas. It is a moonless night, and we are in our bedroom, lights all switched off. We are in our bed, sleeping in our bed, eyes closed, with sheet pulled over, all the doors and windows closed, absolutely no light, pitch dark in the room, and we are fast asleep. And then we dream. We dream we are by a river, bright sunny morning, the rising sun we are seeing, birds chirping, children playing and all that thing. So now it is a moonless night in our dark bedroom with sheet pulled over, with our eyes closed. Who is illumining that dream? What is the entity that is illumining that dream, which is seeing a bright sunny day in the dream? Okay, so that is consciousness that is illumining that. And this dream world is projected on the substratum of consciousness. So this dream world has got substratum as the consciousness, and the illuminator also has consciousness. And therefore this dream is an illusion. There is no reality to that. So whatever has got this substratum as well as the illuminator as consciousness, that is illusion. Now how does it come to our body now? So this entire existence, if you look at it, that which is subtle is a substratum of that which is gross. Gross is not the substratum of the subtle. Understand this very clearly. That which is subtle is the substratum of the gross. It is the basis or the support of the gross. For example, this earth has got 75% water and 25% land. 75% water, geography tells us that 75% of the earth is water and only 25% is land. Now, what is supporting what? Is 25% land supporting 75% of water, or 75% of the water supporting 25% of the land? It is the other way around. Water is subtler than earth, and 75% of the water is supporting the 25% of the land. This is the planet Earth. Now, surrounding this planet Earth is atmosphere, gaseous atmosphere, which is gas form. So, Earth is solid, water is liquid. So, liquid is the support of the solid, and the air, the gaseous, is the support of solid and liquid, because all around the globe Earth, there is an atmosphere of gases, and that is sustaining, that is supporting this Earth, that is sustaining this Earth. Because without these gases of oxygen and nitrogen, all those vital gases there, this Earth cannot be sustained as it is today. And gas is subtler than the solid Earth and liquid water. We go further. Maybe it is difficult to comprehend this now. When we go further, it will be cleared now. Now, this planet Earth is suspended in the space. Space is the subtlest of all the 5 elements. Space is the subtlest of element, and in the space, this planet Earth is suspended. So solid was supported by liquid, liquid was supported by gas, and now solid, liquid, gas, all this is supported by the space, empty space. Millions and millions, billions of stars and planets, they are supported by inside this space. And space is the subtler than the solid, liquid and gas, earth, water and gas. It is subtlest of all. Now, so the subtlest of all is the support of everything. So the space is support of all the planets, stars, and all the the asteroids and everything. Now, this space is also insentient. To know the existence of space, there has to be a conscious knower. So this consciousness, this conscious knower is subtler than the space to be the knower of the space. And therefore, this conscious knower is the support or substratum of the space also. So therefore, this conscious knower is the substratum of the support of the entire existence. And it is also the illuminator of the entire existence, entire creation. And therefore, the existence as we see, it has got only relative reality, not the absolute reality. And this body made up of this Panchamahabhuta also exists in this relative reality. And it cannot be real. It is an illusion. It has got a relative reality. As long as our ignorance is there, it appears real. As a dreamer, the dream world is real to us. Isn't it? All that is happening in the dream world, it is as if happening to us. So, as soon as we wake up, then we say, of course, it was just a dream, you see. I shouldn't have taken it seriously. But if you are suffering there, then it was real to us. So, like that, as a dreamer, waking plane is also no different than the dream world. It is just as a dream world only, as a dreamer. So, when we awaken, as we wake up from the dream world to the waking plane of consciousness, similarly, from the waking plane of consciousness, when we awaken to a higher dimension of consciousness, then from that level, when we look at everything, then we don't take anything seriously. That is why when the knowledge matures, we awaken to a higher dimension of consciousness. Even if we want to, we cannot be serious ever in our life. We don't take anything serious. Then the entire existence is nothing but an encyclopedia of jokes. When we understand the illusion that was maintained on us, we were taken for a royal ride by the so-called Maya Shakti. By our own ignorance, we were taken for a royal ride. When you realize that, then therefore in Taittiriya Upanishad it comes, how does the Guru know that disciple has realized the self? The disciple laughs 3 times. First time he laughs when he discovers his own real self, when he becomes aware of his own real self, which is of infinite bliss. With that realization, he bursts out laughing. Then he laughs a second time. Second time because then he realizes that it was so simple and why I was breaking my head. And then again he laughs. And then he laughs the third time. What foolish things I did in my ignorance. He laughs the third time. And when the Guru hears his disciple laughing 3 times like that, he knows that he has realized the self. Now, he will not come back. He will go on his way. So, this way, then once he realizes that disciple doesn't stay at Guru's place, he goes away. It is not a good thing for a Guru that too many disciples are there around him. That means nobody has realized. If a Guru doesn't have any disciples, then all those who came have realized and gone. So, this is the 14 reasons why I cannot be this body. So, these 14 reasons, they are very scientific. We have to analyze it thoroughly. At least twice a day, we have to go through these 14 reasons, morning and evening. When we are lying in bed at bedtime, at that time, we have to go through these 14 reasons why I am not the body. When we wake up in the morning, we have to go through these 14 reasons why I am not the body. And then the sankalpa should be what? See, this body troubles us a lot. Aches and pains and various diseases and all that thing, it troubles us a lot. The sense organs also troubles us. The mind troubles us. It is miserable sometimes, sometimes not miserable, sometimes bored and all that thing. Sometimes there is hurt. Somebody says something, we feel hurt. Somebody insults us, we are hurt, and so on. This intellect also is like that. It cannot comprehend anything. So you do not want to take this form again. So we have to revise this 14. First thing is that we have to make a sankalpa. This is our last. No more taking any form in any realm whatsoever ever again. Any lokas, any form in any lokas ever again. This is our last. That sankalpa has to be that twice a day we have to take the sankalpa before going to bed and as soon as we wake up in the morning. And then having done that, then we have to chant the one line of Bhaja Govindam shloka. Iya sansare baudustare kripaya pare pahi murare. That we have to chant. And then we have to remind ourselves about these 14 reasons why I cannot be this body. Now these 14 reasons have been given for why I cannot be the body. The same 14 reasons, out of which many of those reasons can be applicable to why I cannot be the sense organs, why I cannot be the pranas, why I cannot be the mind, and why I cannot be the intellect. Many of those reasons will be applicable to these other entities also. So if we have these 14 reasons, similarly, it can be applicable to other entities, body, sense organs, pranas, mind, and the intellect. So we go through that twice a day, these 14 reasons, and make the sankalpa. And then one homework also we have to have. These 14 reasons I have given. And then all the satsangis should contemplate and come up with the 15th reason also why I cannot be the body. That is the homework, you see. So it may take 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, but it has to, the contemplation has to go on why I cannot be the body. So 14 reasons we already have, we have to come up with the 15th reason. And proper reasons which cannot be refuted. Okay, so now here, 32nd shloka, Deha anyatvat na me janma jara karsha laya adayah. So Adi Shankaracharya says that I am other than the body and therefore I cannot have the birth, the old age, the senility, the death, etc. And similarly, all the sense organs and their objects, Shabdati Vishayahi Sangaha, Nirindriyata, I am not even the sense organs, nature. I am not in the sense or I am not even the sense organs. So these things are there. Now in the 33rd shloka, Adi Shankaracharya says that Amanastvatna me dukkha raga dvesha bhaya adayah apranah hi mana hi amanas shubhrah shubhrah ityadi shruti shasana. So amanastvat na me. So I am not the mind also. I am something other than the mind. So if I am not the mind, what are the modifications of the mind? Modifications of the mind are dukkha, sufferings, miseries, and sorrow. They are the modifications of the mind. So dukkha, raga, dvesha, likes and dislikes, bhaya, fear, etc. So these are all the modifications of the mind. So when I'm not the mind, these modifications of the mind also doesn't belong to me. I am witness of the mind and its modification. The type of thought, the type of emotions, feelings, and sentiments that goes on arises in the mind, I am a witness to that. The type of thought that arises in the intellect, I am a witness to that. I cannot be this. Amanasvatna me dukkha raga dvesha bhayadayah. Raga dvesha, likes and dislikes. So likes and dislikes arises in the mind only. I am not these likes and dislikes. We suffer because of likes and dislikes also. We have divided the whole world into three categories: what we like, what we dislike, and then the third category, those things which we neither like nor dislike. So what we like, we want to have that and we'll get attached to that. What we don't like, we want to avoid that. We detest it, we want to avoid that. And then there are third categories, something which we neither like nor dislike. So only those things which we like are those which gives us some benefit, some joy, some pleasure, some happiness. Those things we like. And the other things which we don't like, we want to get away from that. So raga dvesha, because of raga dvesha also the mind suffers. So I am not the mind, so I don't suffer because of raga. Dvesha, dvesha again, the hatred also we have for others. So that also is not good, and because of that also we suffer. When we have hatred for someone in our mind, then we suffer more. Having hatred for somebody is like keeping somebody rent-free. Keeping our enemies, if we are hating someone, that fellow is staying in our mind rent-free. Increase the rent and kick him out. You see? So this mind is creating a problem. I am not the mind, so modifications of mind do not belong to me. So dukkha, raga, dvesha, bhaya, the fear, different types of fear and phobias, they arise in the mind only. Some people have phobia about the cockroach. When they see cockroach, they start jumping here and there. Or they have phobia about the lizard. Now we do not know who is having fear of what. The cockroach, the small cockroach, is afraid of this huge human being. But it is the other way around. If people have phobia, they will be afraid of the small cockroach also. The small lizard, we look at that small lizard is afraid of this human being, but then human beings are afraid of small lizard also when they are harmless. So like that, this fear is there, this phobia is there. Some phobia we have brought from a past life also sometimes. So that we can get rid of by practice of Chidakash Dharana can help us. There are different practices through which we can get rid of phobia. Chidakash Dharana is a very good practice to get rid of phobia. One of the type of meditation. So to practice Chidakash Dharana, of course, we have to prepare our mind with the first 7 stages of practice, and then we can practice Chidakash Dharana. So dukkha, raga, dvesha, bhaya, adayah, apranaha, hi amana, shubhraha, apranaha. I am not these pranas also. So I am not these pranas. Now I am not the mind also. See, mind is absent in the deep sleep state, but I am still in the deep sleep state. You see, mind is present in the waking state as well as in the dream state, but mind is absent in the deep sleep state. But I am present in the deep sleep state. So that which is present in one state of consciousness and absent in another state of consciousness cannot be I. I am present in all the 3 states of consciousness. And then similarly, now we come to this pranaha, apranaha. So I am not this breath also. As consciousness, I am not this. Suppose I was breath. Breath to a certain extent we can control. We can breathe slow, we can breathe fast, we can stop our breath for a few seconds. So if I consider myself to be the breath, and if I stop my breath for a few seconds, I don't go out of existence. My existence continues even when I stop my breath for a few seconds. The existence continues. So this breath, I cannot be the breath. Breath, though it goes on 24 hours, I cannot be the breath. This pranas, apranaham, hi amana shubhraha. I am the pure and bright. And ityadi, this has been said, etc. has been said. Shruti Shasana, this is as per the Shruti, that is Upanishad. Shruti Shasana. Having said that, now in the 34th shloka, now Adi Shankaracharya is giving an indication of that absolute truth of the pure self in terms of negation. 34th shloka, Nirguno, Nishkriya, Nityaha, Nirvikalpaha, Niranjanaha, Nirvikaraha, Nirakaraha, Nityam, Nitya Muktaha Asmi Nirmalaha. So nirgunaha, that supreme self, that pure self is nirgunaha, without any attributes, without any qualities, without any attributes. Nishkriyaha, there is no activity in that pure self. So you cannot call it as an active and passive, something like that. It is nishkriya, there are no actions in that. Nityaha, it is eternal. There was no time when it was not there, there will be no time when it will cease to exist. So nityaha. Then nirvikalpaha. So nirvikalpaha, that means without any desire or thought. That is nirvikalpaha. Then nirakaraha. Nirakaraha, it has got no form or no shape. Nirakaraha. It is formless, shapeless, formless, because anything that has got form, it is subject to limitations. So this pure self is not subject to any limitations of space or time. Form is limitation of space. Any type of form is limitation of space and time, and causation also. A body takes form, so it has got limitation of space, that is, it is limited to that body only, and it has got limitation of time also. It is born in particular time and it will pass away. It will perish in a particular time. So it is limited by time, and it is limited by causation also. So there is a cause to form the body. That is the prarabdha karma which has been fructified, and according to that the body, sense organs, mind and intellect is formed. It is pre-programmed accordingly, and that is formed. And the lifespan is stamped on the body itself. The expiry date is stamped on the baby when it is born. So nirvikara, nirakara. Then nitya. Nitya again, nitya mukta. Nitya mukta means ever free, ever liberated. Nitya mukta is ever free, ever liberated, and pure. Nitya mukta asmi nirmalaha. Pure. There is no any blemish in that. Always pure. Nirmalaha. So now here Adi Shankaracharya ji has given in terms of negation. That is, now we know about the gunas. As far as we know everything by the quality. So that entity has got no quality. Everything else we see, we perceive, that comes into our perception, it has got some kind of quality or attribute. Name, there is some form, some shape, some color, some quality, something like that, it will be there. Then that entity is nirguna. It is a sanketa. Absolute truth cannot be defined, but it can be indicated. It can be indicated through some pointers. So these are the pointers: nirgunaha, nishkriyaha, nityaha, nirvikalpa, niranjanaha, without any blemish. Niranjanaha, without any blemish. No anjana in that. Nirvikara, not subject to any kind of modification. Nirakaraha, no form at all. Therefore, it has got no limitation of space. When it is called as nitya, it is not limited by time. It is infinite. When it is called nirakaraha, it is not limited by space. Nirvikaraha, no modification like that. And then nitya muktosmi, ever free. Nirmalaha, ever pure. So that is the self. Now, having said that, in the 35th shloka, Adi Shankaracharya ji says that aham akashavat sarvam. Aham akashavat sarvam bahihi antara antaha gata chutah achyutah sada sarva samashuddhah nissangah nirmalah achalah. So again here also, now Adi Shankaracharya says that aham akashavat sarvam bahihi antargata chutah. I am like space, inside and outside and everywhere, untouched. You see, that is important. Bahihi antaraha. So achyutaha. Achyutaha means changeless, not subject to any modification. So I am all pervading, inside and outside. So now, why Adi Shankaracharya is giving the example of space? Space inside and outside. That absolute truth, when you say, is all pervading, is substratum of everything, and there is nothing other than it, and everything is only projected on that. So there is a reason for that. In physics, we have studied atom. In atom now, there are subatomic particles called electrons, which rotates, which revolves around the nucleus. Nucleus consists of protons and neutrons. So now there is a nucleus consisting of proton and neutron, and electron is revolving around it. This is the atom. Okay. Now 99.9999, 16 times you'll have to write 9. 99.9999, 16 times percent of this atom is empty space. Okay, so how much? 99.9999, 16 times you have to write. That much percent of that atom is empty space. Now solid looking iron piece consists of atoms. Trillions of iron atoms are there in that. That atom is there, and in each atom electrons, protons and neutron nucleus is there, of which 99% of space is there inside. The solid looking atom, solid looking iron piece has also got space inside, all pervading space. And then consciousness, pure self, is subtler than space. So it has to be all the more all pervading than everything else, even the solid. So aham akashavat, changeless. Akashavat, aham akashavat sarvam, bahihi antargata chutah, sada sarvam, sarvam ashuddhah, nissangah, nirmalah, achalah. Always pure, nissangah, without any sangah, nissangah, unattached, always, nirmalah, pure, and achalah, motionless. Because something that alone exists, it is pervading everywhere. There will be no movement. As a body, I can move from this chair to another chair because this body is limited by space. But space itself is not limited. We cannot say that now this Bombay space wants to meet the Delhi space. No. Because Bombay space and Delhi space, they are all one homogeneous space. There is no divisions in space. We put divisions of wall and roof in space and then call it as a room. And then break the wall and roof and it is again the space. So it is space is all pervading. Everywhere it's the same space. So now space has got no movement. Bombay space cannot say I want to go to London. No, it is all the same. It is the same space. So therefore, in self also there is no movement. Achalaha, there is no motion in that because it is all everywhere. It is the same thing. So there cannot be any movement in that. So aham akashavat sarvam bahi antargata achyutah sada sarvam ashuddhah shuddhah nissangah nirmalah achalaha. So there is no movement in that. Now, having said that, now the next one we will conclude it here. And we will take it from 36 slok onwards. We will take it in our next session. Now, if anybody has got any questions on the topic covered, we'll keep it limited to the topic covered. If there are no questions, then we can conclude the session.
Unmute everybody.
I have unmuted everybody. They have to unmute at their end.
That's the biggest trouble from because that doesn't take place.
Any question?
It is better to contemplate on what you have heard today and then maybe come up with questions next time.
Actually, we are stunned by the 15 reasons that you have given us.
I have given only 14, you have to come up with the 15th one.
Yeah, 14 reasons that you have given. We are stunned by that. And now homework is you have given at the time of when we go to the bed.
Yeah.
So I don't think tomorrow morning will until tomorrow morning we'll be able to sleep.
13 reasons are very easily understood. Okay, we can comprehend, but the 14th one is a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
Swamiji, actually 14th one is a icing on the cake.
The last one is the subtlest of all reasons.
Subtlest of.
And if you comprehend it, you see, in Atmabodh, if you have done Atmabodh, now you have, from beginning you are doing Atmabodh. In Atmabodh, we have seen how this body was formed from the Panchamahabhuta, isn't it? The stool amsha of the Panchamahabhuta and the Sukshma amsha of the Panchamahabhuta went to form the Sukshma Sharira and so on. And this Panchamahabhuta also, the Prithvi Tattva is the grossest and the Akash Tattva is the subtlest. And that example only I told you, explain this 14th reason. The substratum and the illuminator, if they are same, so I said the substratum, how consciousness can be substratum. So Akash, I said, space is the substratum of even the solid planets. You see, and consciousness is subtler than the space because it is the knower of space. Space is anyway inert insentient matter. So therefore, this is subtler than that. So consciousness is the substratum, the support of the entire existence, and that itself is the illuminator also. And therefore, what is there, it is only an appearance and not a reality. So it will take some time. You have to digest it, chew it properly, whatever you have heard.
Yeah.
Then you'll be able to comprehend it.
So Swamiji will take up the question. Let everybody frame the questions, and we'll take up next time.
Okay.
Today is Tapushi here?
Yeah, she's here.
Tapushi?
I'm here.
Yeah, Swamiji, one small bhajan and then Hari Om.
Okay.
Yes, Tapushi, go ahead.
Okay.
And sing little louder. Please, go ahead.
Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You go ahead, start.
प्यारे नंद लाल दर्शन दीजो यशोदा के बाल दर्शन दीजो यशोदा के बाल दर्शन दीजो प्यारे नंद लाल दर्शन दीजो नटवर लाल दर्शन दीजो नटवर लाल दर्शन दीजो दर्शन दीजो दर्शन दीजो नटवर लाल दर्शन दीजो गिरधर दर्शन दीजो गिरधर दर्शन दीजो प्यारे नंद लाल दर्शन दीजो यशोदा के बाल दर्शन दीजो प्यारे नंद लाल दर्शन दीजो नटवर लाल दर्शन दीजो गिरधर दर्शन दीजो प्यारे नंद लाल दर्शन दीजो.
Thank you, Tapushi. Yogi Bhai, can you highlight Tapushi so that all of us can see her? Tapushi, start your video.
Our video is off.
Now I'm putting it.
Yeah, put it on, please. Quick.
1 minute. It says host has stopped the video.
Start the video.
It's on. Start the video.
I'm starting, but it says host. It says host has stopped the video.
No.
Anyway, Swamiji, Shanti Pat will do.
Okay.
There.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya पूर्णमेवा वशिष्यते. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om to everyone.
Swamiji.
Hari Om to everyone.
Yes, Hari Om.